Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. When it comes to interracial marriage, the most successful is black women, white men. And the reason is because black women are the most nurturing, most loving, most loyal, most spiritual, and most beautiful. Any questions? Swirl to investment. Choose the black woman. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay, I'm doing this a little bit different. We're going to do a movie review, but we're going to compare interracial marriage movies to interracial marriage in real life. We're going to kind of share our life. I do still want to have an open panel, so you can join us up here with me and my wife, Sandy. I'm sorry it's late. I sent some links out there, but I'm really late, and I apologize. But you know, today's been a crazy day. But anyway, my wife Sandy wants to join me on this.
Hello, everybody.
And I'll go ahead. If you guys want to come up with us and do the movie review, you can do that. I'll put the link up there. But when we do the movie review, we're going to do that first and just focus on the movie. And then you can ask me and my wife, Sandy, questions afterwards. You know, and if you don't want to come up, that's fine too. Me and Sandy will do the movie review, but that option's there. Either way is good with us. So I'm going to put the link up here if you guys want to come up. And the movies that we're going to be reviewing is the movie You People, okay? So that's what we're going to do a movie review on, okay? We thought the movie was funny, entertaining. Is it real life? Yes and no. But we'll get to that anyway. Thanks, Sunflower Seed. But look. Everybody's saying hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, guys. It's good to see everybody. Yeah, I always love having my wife on here. You know, I got to bribe her and take her shopping. And but hey.
If I'm not working or doing anything else, yeah.
Right.
Right.
Okay, there's the link. If you do want to. Oh, wait. Okay. Blessings, everyone. All right. There's a link if you do want to come up. If not, that's fine also. But we're going to start with the movie review. Okay, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to go into the movie opposed to real life marriage, interracial marriage, and some of the things we go through, and what, you know, how people think it is from what they see in the media and movies and stuff like that. So anyway, we're going to do that. Hey, Pro-White Leadership, how's it going?
Hey, Brent, what's going on?
Oh, not too much. Stephanie, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you doing, Brent? Hi, Miss Sandy. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, I was going to just do a movie review, but I felt that doing the review and comparing it to real life interracial marriages and how it applies, what's the differences, what's the misconceptions, you know, the stereotypes and generalizations. And So, but anyway, you guys seen the movie? If you haven't,
Yes, I did. I saw it 2 weeks ago. You people.
Oh, okay. All right, awesome.
What did you think?
Oh, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And I believe it was kind of realistic as well. So
I enjoyed it. And then I also liked the part where they were how I guess on the names Ezra and Ezra. I'm probably saying the names wrong. The young lady and young man, how they got together. At first they were looking at color for a second when she was looking at color, but then after they begin to talk, it's kind of like color was secondary, and she looked at him as this is just a really nice guy. So I like that second part.
Yeah.
And they had something in common
Yes.
as far as like he's all into shoes, and that he's all into shoes and everything else, and so she's all into her like her little get-ups and like her fashions and everything else. So when they went to go eat together for the first time, you saw her wear her slip-on shoes, and then he wore his nice tennis shoes and stuff like that. So you saw like the little personality, like they're almost the same with their little fashion that kind of goes together.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I like that, and the fact that they could be themselves. She could be herself with him. She's like she was relaxed.
Yeah. Hey, DK, welcome. Good to see you, young lady.
Hi, Brent. Hi, Miss Sandy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you
How
doing?
are you doing? Yeah.
Good. I've always wanted to meet Miss Sandy. I've never had the chance to ever do that.
Oh, you never have? You never met
Well,
Sandy?
nice to meet you.
No.
Yep, yeah.
Many more times again. Yeah, I tried to get on as much as I can, but with me working and my schedule and stuff, it's kind of hard with with his schedule than my schedule, and sometimes we just. But today we were both off today, which is yeah. So we were both off today. He's like, "Go do a movie review," and I'm like, "Okay." So because we watched it, and my daughter was like, "You guys need to watch this movie. This watch it." So she got us all into the movie to go ahead and watch it. So
Yeah, and our daughter's into the interracial thing. I mean, movies that talk about it, historical, like documentaries like The Lovings and stuff. And, well, that's where she came from, has a black mother and white father. And, she sends me articles and stuff and about that. And she watches the show quite often. So, all my kids watch. Every once in a blue moon, they'll pop up in the chat, but they kind of in the clouds, but they're here with us.
So did you get a chance to watch the movie?
Oh, yes, DK?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, DK. Did you get a chance to watch the movie?
What movie? Sorry, guys. I think I'm a little slow.
Oh, that's okay.
That's okay. No, we were doing like a movie review on You People.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as far as
Yeah, I know my title's kind of off because I said interracial marriage in movies compared to real life. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we're going to talk about interracial marriage, but we're kind of talking about the movie review too. And, if you haven't seen it, you can stay on the panel and stuff. And, we'll talk.
No. With movies, I don't mind. Even if people spoil it, I'm that type of person where even if you spoil something, I'm going to enjoy watching it. Still, I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the movie and how it starts out is two people meet, right? He's white, she's black, and he happens to be Jewish, and her family's Muslim. They put all the extremes together, and the parents are kind of feel weird about it. The woman's father is really against it, and the mother kind of is, but I think she's more understanding. And then the man's parents, the dad's kind of laid back and the mom's trying to be kind of
hip.
hip and understanding, a little wokeness, and
yeah,
she tells him, I understand what you people go through and this and that, and her son's just like embarrassed, like, Mom, don't do this, don't. But she just trying, I guess, and this is something that really happens. I know in our situation, I know my family members told my wife Sandy, we call them heartwarming Black stories, where they had a best friend back in the day and they did so many things together, and you know the deal, right? And I know why they did it, to make my wife comfortable, in a way to say, welcome to the family. But, and I think my wife was kind of irritated a bit. She's okay, but it was like, okay.
That's okay. I understood. It's not like that was like my first rodeo, been through before, so it was okay. It's just a little, I think when people do that, it's a little bit of nervousness. And then when they pretty much they come around or get to know you, then then they can relax a little bit. But it's always that first conversation that always starts, just to try to, break the ice per se. So yeah. But
yeah. Oh, we just lost we lost Stephanie.
Yep.
All right. Stephanie, you come back on if you want. I don't know. Sometimes people get bumped off, but the link's still up there. If you get bumped off, just jump back on.
So for Right Leadership, what else did you think about the movie that when you saw it? What else did you look for and got from that too as well?
I thought it was really good. So I mean, me personally, it's these type of movies are kind of new, but I think that this is going to be like an entryway into more movies with white men and Black women dating and marrying each other. So that's my take on it, because the marriage rate between Black women and white men are increasing. So I think it's a good start for now. That's my take on it.
Right. Yeah. And also too in commercials, I've been seeing commercials too with a lot of interracial couples now that used to start. First started off with the Cheerios commercial, because you remember the Cheerios commercial, that was a big thing when they did the Cheerios commercial, and then that started, and then you see a lot of more commercials now with especially with Walmart and stuff like that. So now you're seeing a lot of commercials too, as far as movies, like you're saying. So you start to see a little bit more. So you're right. That's a little bit of an entryway that it's starting to go. It's kind of moving in inch by inch, but then there, yeah.
Yeah, and Black women and white men are catching up with Black men and white women in the marriage stats. In fact, I think we're doing it more than they are statistically. Wow. Yeah, it's amazing what's happening. And and I think women are saying, well, the men did it, and you know what? Hey, and I think Black women are saying, hey, we're outnumbered, and a lot of them ain't coming around, so they're opening up their options.
Right, yeah.
And then white men are saying, you know what? She's beautiful. Why can't I date her? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like, and as it becomes more of a norm, it's going to happen more and more. And that's why you see the commercials, these movies, having interracial couples. It's not that they're trying to force people to do this, like some conspiracy thing. No, they're just going off trends that are happening, things that people are doing, and how people are moving more into interracial marriages. And that's just what's going on in our society today. Yeah. And that to me is a good thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Was there any part that you guys liked about the movie, or anything that stood out as far as going through interracial relationships that like the stereotypes did you pick out?
I like the ending part. I think a lot, like you said, a lot of the movie was some of it was exaggerated. When they got towards the end, they kind of talked about the exaggeration as far as with the mother, how she was telling her friends, almost telling her friends, made Lauren feel like she was a new toy. And she said, I should have done that. I should have just gotten to know you, because Lauren finally told her, get to know me as a person, not me as the black woman, but just me as who I am. I think her name was Ezra, or whatever. I'm saying the names wrong. And then the father, he was so militant, and he didn't want to see who that young man was and how he treated his daughter, and how happy his daughter was compared to the guy who she was with before, who was so egotistic. Then he said, I shouldn't have treated you like that. I should have given you a chance. And it was even his, I think, brother-in-law who said, you were hard on your daughter and you were hard on the young man. And so I think they broke that down as far as how exaggerated they acted, and they really got to know. They were really willing to get to know who that young man was, and the mother was really willing to get to know who the young lady was.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. And not in some stage. I think when I could use an example, like when Britt brought me home for the first time, or brought him to his family to go meet his family, I think some of his family knew and some of them didn't know. So when they saw me, they were like, oh, is this your friend? This is my girlfriend. And they're like, oh, okay. So, so it was like a little bit of a hush in the room, but there was also a little bit of, wow, this is really so. But then again, people always thought, well, this is just a thing. It's not gonna go anywhere or do anything. But yeah, that was a proved him wrong statement. So
it's crazy because my intermediate family knew. It was no surprise. My mom, my dad, stepmother, my brother. That's just what I do. Ever since I started dating, so they knew. That wasn't a surprise. In fact, if I brought a white woman home, they probably would have called an ambulance and wondered what's wrong with me, because they know me. But they, it wasn't a shocker. But like my cousins and, aunts and uncles and, and my grandparents, it was kind of a shocker because they didn't expect it. And it was crazy. And both families and some friends, thought that it would, like Sandy said, it was a phase or something we're doing. A lot of people thought she was pregnant, and that's why I'm marrying her, because she's having my child. But that wasn't true at all. We didn't have our first child till 2 years after being married.
That was a long pregnancy.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years. Mm-hmm. But that's what people do. They assume, and they go off stereotypes and generalizations where it's not the norm. And especially at that time, it wasn't. So they just assume it's not love. It's some alternate reason we're doing this. Mm-hmm. She's pregnant. We're in trouble. We're just going through a phase. But actually, we're going through true love, and that's what it was. I married my wife because I wanted to marry my wife. And funny that people just can't accept that, And it's the most obvious thing. But
because with the movie, when they first started talking and they got to know each other, and I think when they first saw each other, I like the cute when he got in the car and she was like, "Oh, you just get in the car," because we have that we all look alike stereotype thing, and we do look like. He's like, so when he showed her the picture, he's like, "Oh, we kind of do." So that kind of broke that down too as well. So then I think he was just like, "Wow, okay," and everything else, and the culture, and then his podcast that he has, because the person that he's with is a black woman. It was a black woman, so I think he felt that kind of connection too. Just didn't know it until he met her. So
yeah. Oh yeah, because it was his best friend, the girl. Yeah.
And so I think this felt when they got to know each other, they had a lot more in common than they got. And I think it was because of family too. And then their families were trying to get them to date other people or see other people and stuff like that. So they just, so that was a thing. And I thought that was kind of good because you get to know the person. You talk to each other first. I mean, it's just you two only. So, until you're comfortable with, both of you guys, then the family comes in. And then that's when you're like, okay, all right, well, if we're gonna be together, then this is what we're gonna look forward to. So just be ready. It's gonna be okay.
But what I was saying in that movie, there were true parts about it, no doubt. I felt it was exaggerated. I'm especially when the father brought, his future son-in-law to the barber shop and the black people, messing with stuff. That does happen, but not that extreme. I mean, I know my wife's brother messed with me a little bit, and it was kind of funny. But other than that, I mean, really, when you get married, it's like, you're just people. Most people on both our families were like, okay, that's fine. That's their life, and they're okay with it. My grandmothers, no, they weren't okay with it, but they didn't say it all out. They just little things. And my grandmother, she made the point that my wife was dark complected. And the crazy thing is, and she couldn't understand why I was upset about that comment. I mean, it's a true statement. Her complexion tone is dark, but the way she was saying, I know what she meant,
Yeah.
And I said, a remark, well, should I got a lighter one? Well, she is dark. So I think she would have been okay with me getting a lighter one. You know what I mean? Which is dumb.
No, I understand. Yeah. Because there's so many different things within the black community with lighter skin versus darker skin. It was like, we're just different shades of brown. Come on. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It always have been, so
But the ironic thing is one of my black friends, he was joking about my wife being dark complected. He says, dang, when you go for black women, you go all the way. And he thought it was funny. I say, wow, you know what? You just said the same thing my grandmother said. I'm like, well, I understand why she said it. And that's pretty bad. But you're the same skin tone as my wife. What's the deal? Oh, no, man, I didn't mean it that way. It's just a joke, but yeah.
Have you ever heard this in our community? It's like the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to make a T-shirt like that and wear it every once in a while. It gets it a little bit of reminder.
Oh yes.
I don't care what anybody say, but dark skinned women are the most beautiful.
You know what part of that movie I was just thinking about? Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying. You were saying something, Miss Sandy?
Oh no, I think
that was DK.
Yeah, that was
No,
DK.
it was me. I
DK.
said I don't care what anyone say, but dark skinned women, in my opinion, they are the most beautiful women. Their skin is so gorgeous.
They look younger. They look younger, a lot longer. You can't tell how old they are.
Yeah, they do. I think something in the skin, it just, maybe it's the moisture in it. They don't wrinkle as fast when they get older.
We'll never give away that secret.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
and I'm not light myself. I mean, I'm brown. I'm not light myself. I'm not lighter, but
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the movie, it seems like it just went over a lot of the things that you hear, or a lot of things that are spoon-fed to us back then. That was, when looking at the movie and kind of laughing, but seeing how they're going, how they go about it. So it's always, just looking at it, listening to it, but hopefully we have, rise above it, and it's pretty, most of those terms are kind of still used, but it's it's slowly kind of fading. But I mean, it was.
There was a part in there that made me kind of laugh. Remember when he went to go play basketball? Hold on. y'all can hear me because I'm driving. Hopefully.
Yeah, I remember that part. Yeah, I remember that part.
Okay, yeah. So where he was acting like he couldn't play, and the father was laughing. Then when he showed him how I could play, the joke was on the father. He was like, "Dang!" He's like, "No, keep on recording, keep on recording."
Oh yeah, when he was playing basketball, that was funny.
He thought he couldn't play. He acted like he couldn't for a while, and then he started playing well. And the father wanted to stop recording because he was like, "Just because I'm white doesn't mean I can't play ball."
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah,
Again, yep, there you go, right? And so that he tried to challenge him, so tried to go ahead and make him. But yeah, what got me too was the fire when he went to have dinner, and his hat caught on fire from, and he got it from Louis Farrakhan, and his hat caught.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, I was like, wow, what's the odds, you know? And so, but yeah, I thought that was kind of funny too, as well, because of him talking to him about, and tell him about the religion, what he met with Farrakhan and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was kind of funny. So it was
yeah.
And that was interesting too, that they, not the fact that they were just white and black, but also the religion was different too. So they had double things. One was Muslim, one was, so it's like they had things from all directions trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah, I think the religious part would be much more difficult than black and white. And like me and my wife, our families are both Christians, so the religion just fell right in. We believe the same thing. So and I think that's really why my family didn't have a problem with it, because I married a woman of the same faith, and her family too. So it's like, okay, they're he's white, but he's a Christian too. She's black, same thing, and I think that's what really made the smooth transition for us. Her mom is like my dad. It's like anytime we did something wrong or we were off, her mom would tell her scriptures from the Bible. That's what my dad did my whole life, and I'm like, wow. They're the same people. It's weird, and they didn't know each other till we got married. Yeah, and I'm like, our parents are like the same. Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, yeah,
it really was. But yeah, I mean, with the movie, we kind of had some little bit relations to it, and a little bit of laugh to it too as well, and. Yeah, she was talking, and so there was Tony K say "White Man Can Jump." Yeah, that's another. Yeah, that was another one too, of one of the movies with that. That's a good one. But yeah, looking at the movie, it was I liked it, and I liked the where it was coming from, because it felt to me that it was hitting all the things that we went through, as far as what's like, and I feel that with the movie saying, go ahead, take chances. I mean. Things are going to happen. This is what we've been through. Other things could go, other things that you're probably going to jump through hurdles or go through. It's going to be okay at the end. It's going to work out. So I just kind of like you said, Stephanie, I like the end. Well, it kind of comes together and it works out because they figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, and then so the families realized how happy both their kids were. So that's to the point where they decide to try to throw that wedding for them. Then I like how you can tell they both loved family because they were both respectful to each other's family. But then it got to a point where they were breaking up. Then they said, wait a minute, we have to choose each other. Wait a minute, this is not going to break us up, because they were so relaxed with each other. You could tell they loved. They were quirky. They were both quirky. They had music in common. It was just So yeah, they needed to be together.
Yeah, they did. And it was funny because when they broke up, he says, I went out and bought a pair of slippers that you always wear, and I wear them. He said, I wear them because I wore them. And she's like, oh, and I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, because when they were together, she had like those slippers she wears, and so he went and bought a pair of them. He said after they were out, and he'd wear them because he was thinking about her. So I thought that was cute. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And you notice the difference between when she was with the other guy versus him. Her defenses came down because of how he treated her.
Right, there you go. Yeah, that's good. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that was a good observation.
Yeah, that's a good observation. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah, that's right.
I've heard that so many times too. Black women saying they open up their options. My wife has told me that, bringing your defenses down. And yeah, that was a good point. And then another thing I wanted to say, when the father came around, that's true. You will have some people that come around in your family. Like my grandmother, she came around, and she, told me before, later on, she says, you know what, you and Sandy were right. You guys, you have character. Your marriage worked. You're the exception to the rule, she told me. And then I just looked at her and said, no, we are the rule. Meaning, Black women and white men, our marriages last longest. They do. And I think of me and my wife, Sandy, we're not an outlier. We're actually the real thing. Most people like us, with our racial combination, usually are the most successful.
And a lot of training.
Yeah, and I get good training, and I'm house broke too, so that works.
Yeah, trying to understand. I hate to say this, but I'm just gonna be honest. I saw a couple of couples up there. I saw a Black man and a white woman. They're a married couple. Then I saw a Black woman, wife, and a white husband. He was Latino, but he was, like a white Latino. And so the interesting part was, she was saying that she liked the fact that he was open to learning, and vice versa, as far as his culture, her culture. When it came to the white woman and the Black man, he said the white woman said that I want to learn, and the Black husband was like, well, you don't have to do anything but show up. I'm thinking, is he serious? Because when they have kids, there's gonna be so much confusion. You can't just say she has to show up. Y'all have to have conversations, because there's going to be some different things that people on the outside world are going to say, and so you have to be able to have that communication, because his wife's not from his culture and vice versa. So I just thought that was horrible for him to say, just show up. Like, they don't have to have that conversation.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, some of them, their original union it's just on showing up. Like, you just show up with your white skin and you're fine, to be fair. So yeah,
and
because you have to learn from each other, even if it's not American white and Black, but there's different things of like, for instance, with Rachel and her husband Brian, she didn't know about his culture, so they had conversation about it. She said the other wife said that she wanted to learn, but her husband was like, well, you don't need to do anything but show up. But she was frustrated because there's things that she didn't understand, and he wasn't willing to talk about it. I understand that they're both human, and it should be that. It shouldn't be like the color is a big thing. But I'll change it. I didn't say the color, but the culture of them. And so you have one spouse that is, we don't have to learn anything, and then the other one's like, well, there's things I don't know. I need help. So that's that conflict.
Right. And you have to talk about some things. That's important. You have to talk about it, because in order to understand, you don't want to get anybody in there that's confused and go in there and then this makes them look bad and makes them look crazy. I mean, if this person is going to be a part of your life, then you need to discuss a lot of everything, because if with Brent, with my family, I let him know, the things we did and how our family was, and when we go to reunions and family reunions and stuff like that. So you're going to have to do that, because you want your partner, your loved one, or husband, wife, whatever, to feel comfortable when you're going into this family relationship, because that's how you're going to present to your family. So yeah, it's very important for you to do that. I wouldn't see why you just show up, because like you said, if he said that, then he's just don't care, and they're just gonna look at her like
and that's kind of setting her up in a way, because she don't know what to expect, and you're going to have that uncomfortableness if you haven't met her family or his family. It's there. I mean, both of me and my wife had that. Like, okay, what to expect, and we didn't. There was no problems. It's just, and what my wife said, her family reunions and stuff. Actually, I love that. That was fun. I love barbecues and getting together with family, even though that's her family. Well, we got married. That's my family too. So okay, I'm in. I mean, and then she met my family, and we do different things.
Yeah.
She met my dad, and then she got to know why I was so crazy, and and we go hiking in the mountains in the desert and go everywhere, and we just going somewhere doing something.
Yeah, that was a challenge.
And,
I'm sorry.
And she's like, "Why are you guys going way out here in the middle of nowhere? I mean, you're out in the desert, it's hot, and what are you doing?"
Okay, yeah, that was different.
Well, you don't understand.
Yeah.
But
And I want to understand what you're saying. I understand that. I'm not talking about making oaths, always talking about race, because you're two human beings with different interests regardless. So maybe I'm not understanding. What part are you coming from? Maybe I'm not understanding, because I want to understand when you're saying as far as showing up.
Yeah, for us showing up. I'm sorry. Yeah.
We're just saying.
I want to understand what she was saying. Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah. I want to understand. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe.
Oh.
Oh, you're looking.
Oh no, I interpreted the definition of showing up like I was saying maybe to him showing up just mean like just come as you are, because your skin color is enough for me. Because I'm not saying like that's how all of them think, but a lot of them think like that. So I'm just saying maybe the high possibility of him just saying show up with your skin color is enough for me, and that's it. We don't need to worry about no other stuff, whether it be our kids may suffer from this in the future, or et cetera, et cetera. Your skin color is enough for me. So,
Yeah,
I see your point. Okay.
I think that could go either way. If you say come as you are, it's like, hey, I accept you like you are. Just be you. Don't worry about them. That's a good thing. But then it could mean, come as you are. You don't need to learn about my culture, my family. Just be there. I mean, that's bad. So I could go either way. I think that statement. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked because I wanted to see. Yeah, and I get it. You might come as you are, but I think he was coming from a standpoint, unless I misunderstood what he was saying, because she was like, I really want to know and understand. He was like, well, you don't need to just be you. You don't have to answer any questions. And she seemed like she was frustrated, kind of, because there's certain things that she did not know, and he wasn't willing to. I won't say he wasn't willing to talk about it, but he just acted like it wasn't a major thing.
Yeah.
But it was bothering her.
Yeah, because she wanted to have some idea of what she was going to look forward to, so that, and there's nothing wrong with that, just to have something to go by, so know how to handle some things, maybe, or know what to do. But I see that. That makes sense.
I'll even say this: I was, I'm divorced, and my ex-husband is Black. We came from two different worlds. I came from suburbia, and he came from rough beginnings. So one thing that they did as a family, they would watch a movie where they're doing gunshots and different things like that. And I watch the movie like, this is family time. Or they be talking about with the family, oh, so-and-so was in jail, so-and-so did this and that. That's not my family time. I'm like, okay, and we were the same color, and I was like, what is this? I was like, oh my gosh, this is depressing. What the heck?
Right.
And I met him in grad school, so that was just interesting. That was very interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting, I bet, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But people that didn't watch the movie get a chance to watch it, and get some feedback on it. Yeah, it just covered a lot of some of the things. Yeah, that I think pretty much some of us go through and look at it, and a little bit, like Britt said, a little bit exaggerated, but it was funny us at the same time. But pretty much,
and when we watched it, it really. We laughed because some of the things he went through, and we're like, oh, that happened. And some of the other things were like, okay, no, it wasn't like that. But it's a movie, they they gather information, and I'm sure there's probably some interracial couples they talked to about their marriage and some of the things they went through and researched. And then they threw in some, the stereotypes too. They always throw that in there too. And, the movie's got to have some drama because people love drama. If you look at me and my wife, our life, and it was a reality show, it would be canceled after the first show because it would be boring because we don't come in and argue. We don't, there's no other people involved with us. We don't do these crazy things you see on TV. We just love each other. I go to work, I come home, I spend time with my wife. We might watch TV. We might go sit on the porch. We might go out to eat or do some kind of activity, depending on how we feel. Like today, we spent some time together, went to the mall, and my wife went to one of those stores that has all those lotions and different stuff.
Oh gosh, Bath and Body Works. Good Lord.
Yeah, and
taking them in there,
well,
like, come on.
I mean, she has to get her bath butter and bath butter, candles, and bomb spray.
They were having a sale. They were having a you buy 3 get 3 free. Hey, I can't pass.
Yeah, but
I have to go. I got to do that.
But
I got to.
Yeah, but you know what? It was fun, and though I'm not real interested in that stuff, but it was fun to spend time with my wife.
You know what I think? I mean, I guess everybody has opinions. When people say boring and it's actually healthy, I think because
y'all
have a healthy, peaceful relationship, and the people who's they're boring, you want all this drama. I think they're the ones who's boring because they can't just be with themselves and that person. They have to create all this stuff. So to me, they're kind of the ones that are boring. You can't they can't just sit within themselves and somebody else,
Yeah, that's right. But when I say boring, I don't mean it's boring for us. We love our life. We're having a blast. It's great. Yeah. Our life is like a game of golf, right? It's fun. It's awesome. But if someone's watching you play it, it's not going to be fun to them. If they watch our marriage, okay, wow, he came home, he got in the shower, they wrapped themselves in a blanket, they watched some TV, they went out on the back porch, looked at the lights, and talked about their grandkids, and then they came back in, went to bed. I mean, if you're, to us, that's a blessing. That's awesome.
Yeah, because we're settled,
we enjoy that.
Yeah.
But someone watching us wouldn't enjoy it because it's not entertaining in that way. That's what I meant by boring. And, a lot of people and people love drama. And that, was my point. When they make these movies, they're not going to make it to where, okay, only a couple family members have a problem, but everybody's good with it. They come together, they're happy. Be like, what is this? You got to have some confrontation or someone saying something crazy. And, but, that makes it entertaining. And it was a movie. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the movie. I'd say watch it. I got mixed reviews. People, told me like, some say, oh, it's great. You got to watch it. Do a movie review on it. Talk about it. Some were like, it wasn't really that good. And, it wasn't true. Or, that everybody's got their opinion. Is it true, factual? No, but some things in there are true. Some are exaggerated. And, that's what I got out of it. And it was entertaining.
Right to me. Yeah, the sale. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a sucker for the sale. I
think they had different moments of where it was laughter, like you said, where it was just exaggeration. Then there's times when it got deep, but you're like, wait a minute.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and you can feel like they loved each other, but their families were such weirdos about the whole thing. It kind of, you could see the emotions, like he was trying to fit in, or with her father, he was trying to I think be respectful and show, hey, I'm a good guy, you know, and I love your daughter type thing. And then the woman was like, her mother was just trying to be so understanding and woke for her. She's like, you don't even understand me as a person. Get to know me. You know, I am a, you know, person like you. And you could see that and the emotions of it, how they were hurt at the end. And their parents brought that on them. And, you know, so that is a true thing that happens. You know, we were blessed. Our families didn't get in the middle of us, you know, in our marriage.
That's sad where they had their wasn't an engagement party. It was their rehearsal. Wasn't their wedding rehearsal or something? They broke up for that time or something.
Right.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a rehearsal. Yeah.
That was just devastating because you could tell that they both didn't want to, but they figured if our family's gonna be like this, it's not worth it. I was like,
right, yeah. So yeah, they had to go ahead and make decisions and pretty much put family, I guess, like you say, first instead of them putting themselves first of their happiness. And so, you know, just to make, like you said, everybody happy around them, they just decided to go ahead and say, well, it's not gonna.
And you know what? That's a good point, because a lot of marriages do not take place because of that thing, worrying about their family instead of themselves. And I tell people, no, the woman you're going to marry comes before your family, and the woman's husband comes before her family, because
it says that too in the Bible, huh?
Yeah, well, what it is, you're creating your own family. That still is your family, but it's not. You're building a new family. Okay, it's still going to be your mom and dad and brother, sister, and all that stuff. But the most important family now is your new family with your wife. Yeah, and the Bible says that. It says for a man to leave his mother and father and find him a wife, meaning you start your own family. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what our children are supposed to do. They're supposed to, when they become adults, they leave us, they get married, they start their own family. You know, in a perfect world, that's how it would be. That's how it's meant to be. But in today's world, you know, people leave the home, go have kids, and some get married, some don't. Some come back home and live in the basement. I mean,
they say it's happening a lot more. They say it's so expensive, people are going back home, you know. So,
yeah.
Wow.
And that's not good. I mean, once you leave home, you can never come back. Except the village.
You want your own space. Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, I never wanted to move back home. I love having my own home. I mean, I don't want to go live with my parents. Why would I want to do that? I mean, I'll go stay in their house a couple nights and visit and then leave. That's fine, but I don't want to live with them. I mean, I love them. I just
You're right.
And I know they don't. Yeah.
It puts you back in the kid mindset in a way. It's like, wait a minute.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, especially right now with everything that's going on. Yeah, you are right. There's a lot of people going ahead and with family members or go ahead and move back home and stuff. So, because sometimes they just right now just have no choice with everything that's going on. So it's a different world after this pandemic. So.
Well, yeah, people losing business and stuff. I know where we're at. They locked us down hard, and I know a lot of people lost their businesses and lost everything, especially the restaurant business. Oh man,
yeah.
I mean, you know, not everybody could do the takeout during the pandemic. You know, so the mom and pop.
The mom and pop one. I was gonna say the mom and pops.
Yeah, those are the ones that went under. Like the big chains, you know, they made it through. A Walmart, gosh, they got richer. I mean, everybody was going there.
Yeah.
I mean, toilet.
We had a grocery store in Texas called HEB, and so it's almost like the hangout to go to the grocery store.
Yeah, and they're doing well because I mean, you got to buy food, and I don't know what the deal was with toilet paper. I mean, people.
I didn't understand it either.
I know you need it for hygiene and to be clean, but I mean, there were people that had like garage full of toilet paper. Like, what are you doing? You're going to eat it?
I didn't understand that either. I would understand water, yeah, but I didn't in a lifestyle, but I didn't understand that either. I hadn't figured that out.
Yeah, it's still and still people still almost doing the same thing
Yeah.
as after, but yeah, it's
Yeah, there's still I know, but it's nice to be out of that pandemic thing where you don't have to throw a mask on all the time and limited where you can and can't go. And yeah, I'm just that was horrible. That sucked. I mean, taking the things you take for granted, being able to go somewhere without putting a mask on, that little freedom, that means something when they take it away.
You're right. I was binge watching movies, binge watching series that I've never seen, binge watching YouTubes. I was like, I watched it the day after day. Are they having a new one on?
Catch up on your series that you haven't watched for a while. Yeah, that was the time. So, and with the movies that we have now, like we're talking about, the movie that we're doing now, a lot of the movies that we're seeing with interracial couples now. Do you feel that's helping more Black women get out there to date interracially? What do you guys think when you guys see the movies or stuff like that? Do you think that's just telling them, yep, it's open up your options in that type of way?
I think it helps because it just makes, because actually when I kind of like when I go on TV, I kind of put in interracial relationships because I kind of want to see just what they show on TV. I know everything's not how it is on TV. I get it, but I just kind of wanted to see some of the things that they put in there. And I think I'll say this: I went to it's kind of off topic. I went to speed dating yesterday, and there were two Black guys. There was one Asian guy. There was Hispanic. There was some Indian. I think I met one white guy at the bar. And so I had so much in common with the other people. The two Black guys, I really didn't have much in common. The conversation didn't really flow as much. So when it comes down to it, when a lot of Black women collectively, open our eyes, because I think I said it before, Brent, a lot of us said it, it's because of character. It's because we might not have color in common, but there's a whole lot more that we actually have in common than guys who look like us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that is true actually. I find that also funny. I tend to relate more to white men. I would say other people, but like it's mostly white guys around me. So that's all I'm used to at this point. But I relate more to white men, I would say, more than I would other people. Like, and it's great. It is crazy why that is, but yeah, we tend to have great conversations. We tend to like laugh a lot, joke a lot, say a lot of like stupid stuff, have interest in like what we would like to do as hangouts, stuff like that. And when I see more things like movies or books that promotes interracial dating, I feel so much better. Cause I don't know if I haven't met Miss Sandy, but I'm actually married to a white guy. So like it makes me so much comfortable and so much happier to see like Black women open up their options and getting to know other groups of men and getting to know their culture and like just stepping out that box that people been trying to force Black women to be in that corner. So yeah.
The interesting part is that I've lived in suburbia all my life, and I have never really. I went out with one white guy. That's very interesting. I live in suburbia, and there's only one white guy that I actually went out with. And so I was like, and I guess it was just I just happened to be around my family, and they happen to be Black, and guys who I happen to talk to were Black. But I'm open. I'm very much open because to get to know a man that doesn't matter what color or what race. I'm willing to know someone that I vibe well with, that has some of the same morals and values that I do. I can be
Mhm.
myself with and not have my defenses up.
Right. Yeah, because when I was dating Brent, I did have my defenses up because at that time it wasn't a lot of you didn't see a lot of us as couples around where we were at. So, I kind of had my defensive up because, I was always spoon fed of, you know, don't date a white guy because this is what they do. Don't do this. So I was always spoon fed. So I was just at this moment, at this time, I was talking, with my mom, and I'm like, and she's like, "What do you got to lose? Just go for it. He's a person. He's a man like any type of man. So you dated, so just get to know him because you just don't know what." My mom always calls everything a blessing. She says you just don't know what you might be missing your blessing. So
Yeah.
that was her term all the time. You don't know until you find out because you don't know you might be missing your blessing. And so, and I said, yeah, you're right. I got to look at, so instead of just hearing all this, I had to pretty much put myself and let me do my own thing and go about it. And then I end up with my wonderful husband I love so much. And
Aw.
after 8 years, and here we go. So I got my blessing as my mom.
And you know what
I
I'll
got
say?
said.
Aw, that's so sweet.
Oh, I love mother-in-law. I tell you, she's awesome.
Yeah.
She just wow. I'm just amazed my wife's family accepted me like they did. My mother-in-law and my brother-in-law. It was a blessing.
It was.
They came together, and my dad was, loved my wife. He's like, wow, you did something right, finally, son.
So
Yeah, yeah, it's like he celebrated because he knew I made a good decision. It's funny when I graduated high school and I was going nowhere fast. And my father threw a party when I graduated, and he fought me tooth and nail to get me to do the right thing through my life. And I thank God he did that. Um, and but he was tough on me. He had to be. Um, and it worked out. And really, they say you marry a woman that's like your mother. Not always. My wife is more like my father, meaning she's
wow.
organized, she's got things together, she's very disciplined like my father. They the toothpaste thing, getting every drop out of there, um, things being in a certain place, and
So you were right at home then. You were right at home then because what your mother-in-law did the same thing that your father did, and then your wife did the same thing like your father did. So you were right at home then, huh?
yeah, it yeah, but it's my father and my stepmother told my mother-in-law when we got married. She said God answered our prayers. Your daughter's a blessing, and
Yeah, because when they met each other, because usually when they met, when you bring family over, when everybody met each other, everybody does the handshake. No, my mom's a hugger, so
oh yeah,
every time everybody come in the house, she hugged everybody because that's just who she was. She and people put her hand down. Oh no, we don't do that. We hug. So my mom
yeah.
was a hugger. So that's just how she was.
And you know what's crazy? And when we got married, I was in the Army, right? We were all over the place, right? And when we would come home, whether we went to my wife's parents' house first or my parents, we're in the same town, right?
Mm.
It was funny because both our families would be there, like, oh, okay, you're both here. It's like, they were like long friends that just met each other. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. Yeah.
And speaking of culture, where we live, me and my wife really didn't have different culture, really. We did the same things. We ate the same foods growing up. We did a lot of the same things, really.
Mhm.
The only difference is we lived in different sides of town. She lived more in the suburbs. I lived in the city part. Uh, you know, and we were like in the same economic level.
Yeah.
Upper middle class. But my father was stubborn. He stayed in the same house he bought back in '73, and he's still there to this day. And
Wow.
well, he was a teenager. He was 19 when he married my mother, so he had to live in that neighborhood. But what he did is he stayed there and then got a job as a fireman, bought his house, and then through the years, as he made more money, he just improved it and stayed there. And not even, we can't talk him out of leaving. Me and my brother have for years, Dad, you got to get out of that neighborhood. You need to leave. Oh no, that's home. Yeah, but look what's going on. Oh, that's everywhere. It's just he's just stubborn like that. But yeah, but both our parents were, I would say upper middle class. My father was a fireman, paramedic. My wife's father was retired Army like myself.
I'm an Army brat, and I can say that for the longest time. So
and I did my career in the Army, so she's an Army wife. Our son is in the Army, so now she's an Army mom. So
y'all understand it. Oh, yeah.
The United States Army owes my wife. I'm just going to give her a big award. Yeah.
But yeah, guys, check out the movie. I'm no sorry to get off topic because my husband loves to do that sometimes.
I do. I'm not good with staying on topic.
But yeah, if any other movies that you like to go ahead and watch, and especially somebody was saying like older movies, back like in the 1800s, they had some movies back then that they would do, which is true. My mom's favorite movie, I don't know if you guys have seen this, called Imitation of Life.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so that was one of her favorite movies and stuff like that. So, but yeah, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out the movie. I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So, what advice would y'all give to a young Black woman coming up, and she wants to find love, and she's tried within her community and it just hasn't happened, and she's tried different men within her community as far as different personalities, and still hasn't worked out. So what advice would you give her?
I would say open up your options. Get to know different men. I found for me, Black women are so much easier to talk to when you have that relationship. Once you get your foot in the door and she loves you and accepts you, it's awesome. I don't think any other woman's more loving and accepting. Let me say that. That's not saying you can't find that in another woman, but it just seems that Black women are just much more loving. They're much more emotional and have a bigger heart, you might say. And us as men, we're not as emotional, but when you feel that love, she can tap into your emotions, and love is an emotion, And I think it's, in my perspective, Black women have that, and that's what makes them so amazing. That's what makes my wife amazing. She loves me with everything, and it makes me love her with everything. And it's like we feed off each other. We just love each other, and we get the best out of each other with that, and it flows. It's not like we're forcing ourselves. Oh, I got to do this for her because I'm her husband. No, I want to do this because I love her and I want her to be happy. And it's, but we got out of our comfort zone. We dated out,
which is hard because we always go. Not to me to cut you off. I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's okay. No, so but it's a comfort zone. I think for us, since us is when we're comfortable than where we're at, it's hard to go ahead and take that step out because of just like everything that's around us, of what you heard, what you see, just stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to kind of go ahead and do that. But yeah, I mean, go out there, take trips or, get a, get a girls group together or something that, and just kind of go out and see what's out there and go to different places and just kind of see, and just step out for a moment. I think sometimes when we don't do that, it's hard. But I think once you do that and you see what's out there and you kind of look around, then you be like, oh, this is what I've been missing. This is what I can go, try to go through. So get your feet a little bit wet and, just go for it. What would you have to lose? I mean, you just, it's just getting out that comfort zone. So I would just say, keep going and keep doing what you're doing and just put yourself out there. I mean, it's gonna, it will come when you least expect it, because that's what it did for me. I, went out there, stepped out and I was like, okay, you know what, this is not going to. And next thing you know, here he comes. Hi, how you doing? Here's my number. Can you give me a call? And I'm just like, what? So it just
that assertiveness, love it. The assertiveness, that love that. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just because I was, it just was like, I said, okay, but yeah, it was. He came up and I was like, whoa. So then when he came up, I was like, wait a minute. So so I was like, that was ready. Then I wasn't ready, but it's just emotions and stuff like that. So yeah.
You know what we were talking about? Going to where we had our first date.
Yeah, that's
and
that would be sweet.
This was a simple thing though. What it was is her friend dropped her off in my neighborhood. There was this pizza place, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it was closed, but we walked from the pizza place to the park around my neighborhood, and it was awesome. We had a great time. We spent time talking, spent time with each other, and and that night I was like, man, this is meant to be. I was like, this is awesome. And after that, oh my God, every chance I had a day off from work, every time I had any free time, it belonged to her. And I was working 2-3 jobs. It didn't matter. My free time, I would come to her house across town.
And he would come to my house across town, take a nap before we went out. So I let him sleep for a half an hour.
Right.
And then we went on our date because I knew he was working 2-3.
I was tired.
And so my mom was like, let him sleep. And so when he slept and got some rest, he's like, I'm so sorry, you ready to go? I'm like, so it was all good. I understood that. So
there were some times Go ahead.
And he probably noticed that about you too. That look how caring she is. Now you don't have some women. Oh, he came here, slept, and then he took me on a date. He probably noticed how caring you were and selfless. He was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
And she would give me a and watch TV, and she'd say, "You know what? Let's just stay in and watch TV."
You just order out.
And you know what? It wasn't. And the thing about my wife, it wasn't about where I was taking her. It was just we're spending time together, and I took her to nice places. I
McDonald's and Wendy's a couple times.
Well, we did go to Burger King a couple. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Back when they were having them dollar days. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I wasn't cheap like that, guys. Yeah. But I mean, it was just, it just felt right. And being at her house, and like I said, her family accepted me. I felt like I was part of the family, like that was home. And I just loved being there and, being next to my wife. And it was like, and we weren't married yet. We were just dating.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, and I never felt that way around other people except my family. But with her, I mean, that was the highlight of my life, being with my wife at the time. And I remember when I asked her to marry me and she said yes, I was like on cloud nine. I mean, the world was, how can I say, I was on such a high, such an emotional high, I mean, I was just so happy. I was so, I mean, wow, I got a wife now, and we didn't get married yet, but I was like, I'm going to have my own family, my own wife. I was like, this is awesome. And
y'all probably should go out and start speaking about, faithful marriages and things like that. Like I know you do because that's your story is a blessing as far as just it's beyond a black woman and a white man. It's more so the character and how you guys put into each other, that part.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that compliment. Well, it's just, I mean, I think it had a lot to do for us with we were on the same page and our families. I think with all that coming around, it just made it good. It just made it good and easier to everybody just bond and get together. So everything just felt right.
Yeah.
Because when you have things that just feel right, it's just like, is this true, or is it just, or I'm going to get kicked in the butt here 2 months later and be like, no, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it was like. But I will say this, and I'm being honest. My wife's made me better than I was, and better than I thought I would be. I say that all the time, but it's true. Like I said before, I graduated high school. I was I was fast tracking to nowhere. I was going nowhere fast, you might say. And I was young and dumb. I didn't think about a career. But then I thought, okay, I'm going to go in the Army. And I remember we were dating. My wife's like, yeah, that's what you want to do it. And I remember my education sucked so bad. She was helping me study for the test to get in the Army. That's how great my education was, right? I'm serious. I'm not lying. And when I got in the Army, they did a test on me and they said, well, your reading level's at 6th grade level. And that was embarrassing. And, that's not something I'm proud about talking to you guys, but I went and took classes to get my reading up, my reading comprehension, to get me up to speed. And I remember I was taking classes at night. And I remember in my unit, I would train during the day. And then afterwards, I would go, my fatigues with paint on my face in class because I had to do it that way. And my wife was always had my back and always pushed me. And then after that, I went and I was taking college classes. And, I ended up getting my associate's degree and, things were happening nice. I was moving up, getting promoted. Yep. Things were going good. And my wife was there just to push me. And all through my life, I mean, in our ups and downs. And I tell you, through our marriage, we've had our ups and downs. I mean, there were times we were scraping pennies to get by. There were, a dollar movie. We had to look under the couch for some change to do this. But there were times we had plenty of money. Yeah. Financially, we're set pretty good right now. We do very well. But that's because character. My wife has character. She brought the character out of me. And, we've built what we have as two people coming together in a family. And our kids are grown up now. We have 3 kids, 2 daughters and a son. We have 2 granddaughters. Our oldest daughter and son-in-law, they've been married, 7 years now?
7, 8 years.
7 or 8 years, yeah. And their marriage is awesome. So, Something was done right.
Yeah. Well, the thing of it was when we first got together, he wanted this career. He wanted the army, and he said, I want to go in the army. This is what I want to do. I understood, and I got it. And I said, okay. So I said, all right, no problem. He says, I just want this career. If you just stick with me, be with me, and just stick by my side, when it comes to when I retire, when it comes, then you can have your career you want, which is fun because his career was my career. So either we do it together, we work together as a team to go ahead and make everything work. That's what you would have to do. It's not going to work when I'm like, well, it's all about you. It's all about us because we're the team that's going to make this dream work. So, yep, we're going to go ahead and take this one step at a time. That's fine. I'll work on what I need to do to, get what I want through my career. And if once you go ahead and retire and I get, work at where I want to do and get my job that I wanted to go ahead and get, then it's meant to be or it's not. Yeah. So after he retired and got his work and everything else, and then I got my job that I was dreaming about that I got. So God bless you with the job. So, we just got our blessings all the way around, but we were there for each other. It was, we worked together. And yeah, even though we were scraping the bottom, bro, yeah, there was times when we were living off one income, got paid once a month through the military. And if anybody knows what the military pays and you get paid right. once a month, I'm going to let you know, it was not. And then trying to, and at that point, I was going to try to find a job, but then I got pregnant. So when I got pregnant, but I couldn't, when I got pregnant, then I discovered I had preeclampsia. So I could not either stand on my feet a lot or anything else like that, because at that time, I had high blood pressure. So I couldn't work at that time. But we made it work because we knew at the end of the day that everything was just going to work out. We just had to have patience. We just had to be there for each other. There's some days that we get frustrated, got it. Yeah. But there's some days we picked each other up and, and we're like, okay, it's going to be all right. Years came, retirement came, and by the grace of God, we're still here. And we've been blessed ever since then. So,
yeah. Yeah. And, my wife put me first with my career. She had her career she wanted to do. She could have done it way back, but she knew what I wanted to do, and she knew what I was trying to do too. Get a retirement out of it, right? And I got my Army retirement, and thank God for that. That's extra money, and it helps. The benefits we got, the medical and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The disability I had because I had broken bones and
right.
Got asthma and got jacked up a little bit in my career. Yeah, my body's been beat down. The Army took its toll. So that took care of me in that sense. And my wife put me first. And you know what? I've talked to so many people, so many men that I know. And they said, you know what? You retired? Wow, I wish I would have stayed in and got my retirement. But, my wife told me, you know what? If I'm done. If you're going to stay in, I'm taking the kids and leaving.
Yeah, we saw lots of that.
That is a common thing, guys. Yeah. And the military life is rough.
Yeah.
It is. Because of, being gone a lot, because of the uncertainty. Every time I was deployed, my wife didn't know if I was going to come back in one piece or a body bag. That's my job. That's the reality of it. And she had to go through that and take care of the kids while I was gone. And we had 3 kids, and she handled it while I was gone. And people say, well, they'll tell my wife she's lucky because of our income, because we have, I work and I can get in a pension also. So financially we do pretty well within, you know, our peers. We do better than our peers. And they think, wow, you know, she's lucky, but she's not lucky. She sacrificed so I can have my career. And then when it was said and done, now she benefits with the income we have. And we live more comfortable than we would if we would have said, you know what, this is too hard, and gave up. And, you know, when I hear these guys say that, you know, I just go to my knees and say, thank God. My wife loved me more than the comforts. She loved me more than, you know, having me home all the time. You know what I mean? And that's tough. It was tough on me too. I never enjoyed leaving my family to go overseas, especially a combat zone. You crazy? But that's my job. That's my duty. I have to do it.
There's a sacrifice.
Yeah,
and we knew, you know, and I knew, you know, because, you know, my mom been through with my dad with Vietnam, and so, and you know, and it was rough on her, and it was, you know, rough on my dad too, because when he went to Vietnam, you know, they didn't have like, they couldn't like talk like they did like now. I mean, everything was by letters, and then on top of that, we didn't know when they were coming home. So if they were staying out there, they were staying out there, and if they came back, well, if they came back, then they were lucky they came back. If they didn't, well, then, you know, you had the green card come up and drive up to your home, and
God, the way they did.
and that's how you got told. And you know, my father came back, you know, with the blessings, he got home and saw a lot of stuff, but he came home. But I understood the military life. I understood it. A lot of people don't. It's hard. So I was gonna say, if a lot of people do not understand military, you don't want it, then don't be with anybody that's in the military. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that is true.
It's rough, and if you can't handle it, then don't do it, because you know, when the guys are away, or you know, or you're doing your thing, it's a lot. So I mean, you know, but you know, I had his family, and everybody that supported. So I had a major good support system with family and friends, and so it worked out. So
yeah.
But I have to go and cook. But thank you for having me on here. I love you, hun. Thank you for everything, and I'm proud of you for everything that you do. And thank you guys for supporting my husband. I appreciate you guys doing that. And thank you for the lovely compliments. I mean, I appreciate the compliments you guys give me every time I come and show me the love. For right leadership, it's always good to see you, hun. You're doing good things on your show. I keep watching you. So you got good content. So keep up the good work. And Miss DK, it was always nice to meet you too for the first time. And Miss Stephanie, it's always good as much to talk to you.
Thank you, and thank you. I love it when you come on. So I appreciate both of you.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate it.
Oh, appreciate you always. And Miss DK, hope to talk to you soon again. And you guys are lovely, and thank you for all the comments. Much love to you guys. And now I'm gonna go cook so I can feed them. So
yeah. Maybe you shouldn't feed me too much.
But thanks everybody. Enjoyed the movie review. Michael Ray's always good to see you guys on there. Everybody that's on there on the line. Everybody, I can't go through everybody's names, but I just want to say thank you. One day I might come through here and just do the thing, help Brent go through the chat their system and get to know everybody like he does, because it seems like he knows everybody, and I'm just, you know, I'm just minding.
Oh, Miss Anita, thanks for coming on.
So
and being part of the show. Okay, guys, I'm on. All right, I'm switching the avatar real quick. We got to move things around, but you know, I want to thank my wife, Sandy.
Thank you, guys.
It's always a pleasure having her on. You know, this is, you know, my wife is my treasure. She's everything to me. But you know, I like coming on here and doing YouTube, and I just wanted to talk about the movie review and kind of put it in perspective as, you know, a real life interracial marriage. You know, um, we know it's different than the movies, of course. Um, you know, there is some truth in it, and there's some exaggerations. There's some stereotypes. Um, you know, but I like watching interracial movies. Um, you know, I love seeing interracial couples. I think it's something that needs to happen. I think we need to come together as people, the best man and woman for the job, right? Um, and when you search character, it's people are going to look different than you because you got good and bad in all groups, right? And I found Black women that have amazing character, and you know, that's what's always attracted me to Black women is their character, you know. And my wife's got a lot of character like that. She's just, you know, she's always had my back. And when I say she brought the best out of me, guys, I'm not lying. I really wouldn't be. I wouldn't really be where I'm at without my wife. Okay, I believe I'd be successful, but not like I am, because she was able to bring the best out of me through her love, through her support. She's made me feel like there's nothing I can't do. And that's what, you know, a good marriage does. You bring out the best in each other. And that's what it's supposed to be. The family is supposed to be, you know, the foundation. You know, the husband and wife, they're the foundation of the family. And they have children, and they raise their children, and they're supposed to repeat the process. They go and they find their wife, their husband, and then they get married and raise their family. Unfortunately, as people, we're corrupt and we veered away from that so many times. But when you do it the way it's supposed to be done, you do it God's way, you're going to end up, you know, being, you know, you're going to end up being okay. Things will work out, even when it seems so down. And, you know, me and my wife, was our marriage perfect? No. But I do have the perfect wife. Is she perfect as a human? Of course not. None of us are. But her love for me, I would say, is perfect. She puts me first. Okay? She don't have to, but she does it because she loves me. There, I put her first. And that's how you get the power couple. Two people giving each other everything, and two people getting everything out of each other. That's what it's about. And look, I promote interracial relationships. I think it's the best option with Black women, white men. I do. Not to say other groups can't have a great marriage. They can. That's not my point in it. I'm looking at statistics, and I'm looking at the evils in the world where they're telling us to stay away from each other, when they're telling us to be separated. When they tell Black women, you can't be with that guy because he's a white guy or Asian or whatever he is, that you got to be with someone that looks like you. And, you know, white people telling us white men not to marry Black women, that we're supposed to marry within our own group. Why? What does it do besides make our kids white like us? Honestly, I don't care how my kids look. I care about the love and support and the chance they have in life to compete. I want them to be good people. I want them to be loving, supporting, successful. You know, that's what I want. And the way I see it, the Black woman is the best option for that. That's what I believe. That's where my heart is. And that's where my path has gone. I'm middle-aged. I'm 53 years old. You know, I haven't been dating since 1993. And that was with my wife, Sandy. So I don't even know what people do when they date these days, except what they tell me. But when it comes down to it, dating should be only for marriage, to see if that person fits you, see if you're meant for each other. And, guys, I just, I'm going to close soon, but I enjoy having you guys up here. The panel was awesome. Pro-white male leadership, DK, Stephanie. Ladies, I enjoyed having you up here and your perspective. And, my wife, Sandy, enjoys talking to you ladies. And I enjoy talking to you. And I just want to show the blessings me and my wife have. Okay? We're not perfect, and it wasn't a smooth, easy road the whole time. We had our ups and downs. We had times we had to scrape for money. There were times we got on each other's nerves because we're human. But one thing I could say is we always found a way to make up. We always found a way to say, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I've said I was wrong many times in my marriage, and many times I have been. But I'm human. My wife knows that. I know she's human. And we love each other more than our problems. And that's what makes it work. Everybody has problems. But when you love each other so much, your problems will not affect you. And really, other than financial ups and downs along the way, our marriage was really easy. Really was. Because I have a wife that really loves me. Anyway, DK, thanks for coming on. I think DK dropped off. It is kind of late. And I apologize to you guys for not being late coming on the show. And the movie review, it came in late. And I want to just say, there's a couple people wanted to be a part of the platform I emailed. They didn't come up. I don't know what happened, but it's my fault. I was late. Some things came up today, and it's been a hectic day, but I thank God that I was able to come on and talk to you guys. And that's what it's about. We only have one life to live. Find that person you love that loves you. Open up your options. It don't matter what he or she looks like. It don't matter what your kids look like. What matters is what character they have. That's what really matters. And if you get in that mindset, you'll be able to get the best option. And you'll be able to experience love the way it's supposed to be experienced. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this. I wanted to make a comparison to the movie, You People, to real life. And me and my wife, we shared some experiences we went through. Okay? And some of the things the movie showed is real. Okay? Some of the stuff is very exaggerated. But people, a lot of it is kind of true. Okay? How the parents acted, you do have family members that aren't okay with that marriage, that don't want you to do it. And sometimes some of them come around and say, you know what, you guys found true love. And your wife, I thought was a bad idea. Now I know you're blessed. I know you made the right decision, even though I didn't think you did. That feels pretty good when somebody tells you that, a family member tells you that. It gives you validation. And, and I made a good choice. I made a great choice. The best thing I did in my life was marry my wife, Sandy. That's the best thing I ever did. That's the smartest thing I ever did. And I thank God I didn't foul that one up, because I messed up a lot of stuff in my life, but not that one. I married the right woman. But anyway, I could talk all night about this, guys, but I'm going to have to close. And ladies, if you want to say something real quick in closing, and I'm going to take a couple days off. I'm real tired. I've been, even the days I took off, I didn't get much sleep, but the next 2 days, I got to work, so I'm going to come home and go to bed Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be back up Thursday, okay? And we'll do a live Thursday night. I don't know what time yet. But we'll go with that. But ladies, did you want to say something real quick before I close?
Not necessarily, but I enjoyed this live, and thank you so much, Brent.
Oh, thank
I
you
gotta
so
start
much.
coming on more, but I've been busy lately, so.
No, it's all good. Yeah, you know what? I don't come on a lot to other channels, but you know what? You're busy doing your thing, and you're doing an awesome thing on your channel. And Sandy was telling me how much she likes your lives and stuff. She watches them, and you know, the info you're putting out and stuff, and the research, and yeah. But you know, keep
Yeah,
up
I thought that was important. I'm sorry to cut you off, Brent. I think it's important for Black women to know that because, like I said, the way it's explained to us growing up as children about slavery, and they don't seem to understand that the way the black community have been explaining it is not true.
Yeah.
So you know, they made it seem like these other groups of people just came there and took us off this continent, and that wasn't true at all. They were in treaties and contracts with these people, and to just sit there and tell generations of children that is just, to me, it's just demonic to me and very disturbing.
Yeah, and we need to know the truth. I mean, it was a horrible, evil thing, and you know, you know, but I mean, how you broke it down and you know, told the truth. I mean,
yeah, because I think Black women need that so they can move on. Because I feel like sometimes that keeps them from dating out as well.
Yeah,
because they always go back to slavery. And, you know, now they, you know, hopefully that video really gets out there. The views are growing every day, every minute. And I hope it gets out there so Black women can understand that, you know, the men that were supposed to protect them never protected them. They were trading them to other groups of people. You know, it's just, you know, and nothing has changed. So, you know, but I don't want to take too long, Brent.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for your input. And yeah, but I like how you researched it and stuff. And you didn't go out there and give us opinions. You gave us true facts. You showed us documents. You showed us, you know, different parts of the country and what happened, the logistics behind it. You know, and I love history. You know, I don't really get excited about slavery because it's such an evil thing that happened, but you know, we need to know the truth, good, bad, and who was involved. We know white people were involved in slavery, of course. They're the driving force, but you know, there were Black people involved in it also. And we don't tell that story. We don't tell the truth. But yeah, and I think we need it. And maybe if we know the truth, we could all move on from the slavery. Black people can learn to love white people. White people could learn to not soil themselves in guilt, and you know, and just say, you know what, it's wrong. We're better off now. Let's make it, you know, let's make our country the best. And I think that's the way to go from that. You know, history is something we need to know, not to repeat it again. You know, they always say that, right? You know history so you don't end up repeating it. And, you know, I don't think we'll go back to being that evil, but, you know, we people are corrupt. You don't know what people will go and do. But anyway, enough of that. But you know, thank you for your input. Thank you for being part of the platform. And you take care of yourself, young lady. And you know, if you're anything you need, just email me. Let me know. Okay.
Okay, no problem. Well, let me ask. Somebody asked me, am I on tonight? Should I go on tonight?
That's
Do you
up to
guys,
you.
let me ask them in the chat room. Do you guys want me to go live right now? Let's see. All right, maybe not. All right, Brent. I'll see you later.
All right. Have a good night. Take care. Well, some people say yes, 100%.
They're saying yes. Okay, guys. I'll start a live. Give me about. It's not going to be a long live, but I'll start a live in 15 minutes, guys. I'll put it up on StreamYard.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming on. It's been a
No
pleasure.
problem. Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Stephanie, young lady, what you got?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I appreciate you and Miss Sandy coming on. It's just good to hear y'all's story, and I enjoyed this. I like kind of analyzing movies, and I mean, I like things like that. But thank you for being kind and inviting me on your show and letting me be on your show. And I pretty much, besides watching Netflix, I watch your YouTube and pro white leadership, and also Vincent. So those are like my other shows that I watch. So I appreciate y'all's content.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, and I enjoy doing this. This is fun. I love connecting to you guys. Ladies, I love connecting to you, and guys too. When you come in, you know what? I love connecting with people that are in my space that have similar things that relate to me, interracial relationships, interracial marriages. And, you know, it's like we got our own little community here, and it's beautiful. It's a blessing. And, you know, I like bringing my wife on here every now and then so you can see, you know, my wife. You can see a portion of my life, okay? You don't know everything I do in life, of course not, but I could show bits and pieces. And when I talk about interracial marriage, the reason I promote it is because I've been blessed by it. The reason I uplift Black women and show them love is because Black women have uplifted me and showed me love. Really, I'm not just praising Black women, I'm returning the favor because I've been very blessed by Black women, and I'm very thankful. So if you ever wonder why I do this, that's why.
And that's wonderful that you see us as not just Black, but just as women. And it's better to hear the positivity than such negativity. You know, I know it's not individually, but collectively, to hear all that negativity and then to come on yours and Vincent's and hear all that positivity. You know, sometimes I think it's like, man, we try really hard, but it's just like sometimes just things are said so negatively. So it's just good that other people see it. Other men see it.
Yeah, and I've lived it. It's not I just see it, I've experienced it, I've lived it. And why should I be silent on that? I mean, that to me is dumb. But anyway, I love you guys. And hey, Stephanie, thank you so much, young lady. It's always a pleasure talking to you. You're welcome here anytime.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, you too. You have a good night also. And I'll see you soon. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of this show. Thank you for the support. You being here with your kind comments to me and my wife, it means a lot. You know, it's such a blessing that, you know, feel the love that you show me and my wife. And you know what? I thank God that you're here. I thank God that I have a place in YouTube. You know, whether the channel's big or small or whatever, You know, you guys are a blessing to me, and I thank you for being here. And I thank you for listening to me. And my wife showing her love, that means a lot to her. It means a lot to me. You know, but I love you guys. I want to go ahead and close out. I'll see you guys Thursday night. Okay? And take care. God bless you and your families. I'll see you soon. Have a good night.